Picture this, it's 2025. We live in a world obsessed with artificial intelligence, computational photography, and cameras that think faster than we do. Yet somewhere in a quiet studio, a photographer reaches for a machine built 70 years ago. No battery, no screen, no electronics, just brass, glass, and pure mechanical soul. And when that shutter clicks, it sounds like poetry. This is the story of the Leica M3, a camera that didn't just survive time, it conquered it. A revolution so quiet, so elegant, that even today collectors fight over it. Photographers worship it, and legends were built with it. Welcome to Alt Buzz Archives, where forgotten stories come alive and classic machines reveal their secrets. Hit that subscribe button because this journey through photographic history is just beginning. To understand why the M3 shook the photography world in 1954, we need to step back into the chaos it was born from. Photographers were stuck with cameras that felt like anchors. You had two separate windows, one for focusing, one for framing. You compose your shot in one viewfinder, then shift your eye to another tiny rangefinder patch just to check sharpness. Parallax error haunted you. You missed moments. You second-guessed shots. Decades earlier, Oscar Barnack had planted a seed. He believed photography shouldn't be a burden. Small negatives, big possibilities, portable, fast, intimate. His early Leicas proved it was possible, but even Leica's screw-mount cameras of the early 50s felt incomplete. Photographers wanted more. They craved speed without sacrifice, precision without complexity, and Leica's engineers heard them. They locked themselves in a workshop with one obsessive goal: to build the most intuitive, most beautiful rangefinder camera the world had ever seen. No compromises, no shortcuts, just perfection. The hall went silent. Photokina, the world's biggest photography trade show, was buzzing with the usual chatter. And then Leica unveiled it, the M3, and the entire industry froze. This wasn't just another camera, this was a statement. Engineers had spent years obsessing over every millimeter, every click, every surface. The result? A machine so elegant, so precise, that even today, 70 years later, people call it the greatest camera ever made. Not because of nostalgia, not because of hype, but because Leica built something that transcended its era. They built a philosophy. The M3's viewfinder was a revelation. For the first time in 35mm photography, you could see life-size. 0.91 times magnification. Bright, crystal clear, enormous compared to anything that came before it. But it wasn't just big, it was smart. Leica engineers embedded automatic parallax correction directly into the frame lines. As you turned the focus ring, the frame lines moved with you. What you saw was exactly what the film would capture. No guessing, no mental math, no missed shots. And here's the genius: 3 frame lines in one finder. 50mm for everyday life, 90mm for portraits, 135mm for distant stories. You could switch lenses and the frame lines appeared automatically, like the camera was reading your mind. Imagine being a photographer in 1954 and looking through that viewfinder for the first time. That moment must have felt like stepping into the future. Leica didn't stop at the viewfinder. They killed their own legacy. The screw mount that had defined Leica for decades, gone, replaced by the M mount. A bayonet system so smooth, so precise, photographers said it felt like closing the door of a Mercedes. One quick twist, a quarter turn, and your lens locked into place with a satisfying click. No more threading tiny screws in dim light. Just speed, confidence, and a connection engineered to last a lifetime. Leica tested it through 27,000 mating cycles. Most photographers wouldn't shoot 27,000 frames in a decade. Leica built a mount that could outlive generations. This obsession birthed a lens ecosystem that remains legendary. The Summicron 50, the Summilux 35, the Portrait Perfect 90, each one a masterpiece designed to honor the M3's promise, perfection in your hands. Before we go further, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the machine that changed photography forever, hit that subscribe button. It helps this channel grow and tells YouTube that stories like this matter. Because they do. These aren't just cameras, they're time capsules of human ingenuity. Now back to the revolution, the film advance lever. Before the M3, advancing film meant twisting a tiny knob with your thumb. Slow, awkward, easy to mess up. Photographers missed shots because rewinding film took too long. Leica gave the M3 a smooth, single-stroke advance lever. One elegant motion. Your thumb curls around the lever. You pull, the film advances, the shutter cocks, and you're ready, all in less than a second. It felt so natural that within years, every camera company copied it. Every click, every pull, every rotation. It all felt engineered to perfection. Swiss watchmakers would have been jealous. The M3's shutter was so quiet, so discreet, that photographers could capture moments without disturbing them. In a world of loud, clunky cameras, the M3 whispered, and that whisper changed everything. Street photographers like Henri Cartier-Bresson understood this magic immediately. The camera didn't intrude, it observed. You could shoot in a quiet cathedral or a tense political rally without announcing your presence. The shutter's soft click became invisible, and invisibility is power in photography. But it wasn't just quiet. It was reliable, fully mechanical. No batteries to die, no electronics to fail. Many M3s built in the 1950s still work flawlessly today. 70 years later, no repairs, no replacements, just timeless precision. Leica achieved this without modern computers, without digital simulations, just human hands and an uncompromising belief that cameras should last forever. A camera is only as great as the stories it helps tell, and the M3 told some of the most important stories of the 20th century. Henri Cartier-Bresson, the father of street photography, loved Leica rangefinders. His philosophy of the decisive moment? Born from the speed and discretion cameras like the M3 offered. Sebastião Salgado documented humanity's struggles with a Leica in hand. Eugene Smith brought raw, unflinching photojournalism to life. All of them understood. The M3 wasn't just a tool, it was a companion. War photographers carried M3s into conflict zones because they knew the camera wouldn't fail. Documentary photographers brought them into intimate moments because the shutter wouldn't intrude. Artists used them because the M3 got out of the way. It didn't impose, it didn't demand attention. It just worked. That combination was unbeatable, and it still is. Let's talk about what the M3 is made of. In an era where cameras are increasingly plastic and disposable, the M3 stands as a monument to a different philosophy. Build it right once, and it lasts forever. Every M3 was hand-assembled in Wetzlar, Germany. The top plate, solid brass. The internal frame, steel. There was no plastic, no cost-cutting, no shortcuts. Just obsessive, uncompromising craftsmanship. Leica's engineers didn't design the M3 to hit a price point. They designed it to a standard, and that standard was perfection. Each camera took hours to assemble. Each one was tested, adjusted, and tested again. Every control had weight. Every movement had resistance calibrated to feel just right. And here's the crazy part. Many M3s still work perfectly after 70 years. Some have shot over 1 million frames. Some have been passed down through 3 generations. They've survived wars, floods, drops, and decades of hard use. And they still fire. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine. It's 1955. You're walking through the streets of Paris. Post-war reconstruction is everywhere. And you have an M3 hanging from your shoulder. You see a moment. A couple laughing in a cafe. You raise the camera. The viewfinder is so bright, you feel like you're seeing them with your own eyes. You focus. The rangefinder patch snaps into alignment. You press the shutter, a soft click. They never noticed. The film advances with one smooth pull. You're ready again. This is what photography felt like in the golden age. No chimping, no menus, no autofocus hunting. Just you, the frame, and instinct. The M3 didn't think for you. It trusted you. And that trust created a different kind of photographer. One who understood light, one who anticipated moments, one who built muscle memory so deep that the camera became invisible. Every single Leica M camera that exists today is built on the M3's DNA. The M2, the M4, the M6, the modern M11. All of them trace their lineage back to that 1954 revolution. The M mount, still the same. Lenses built in 1954 still mount on cameras built in 2025. That's 70 years of backward compatibility. The viewfinder system? Refined, but fundamentally unchanged. The film advance lever? Still there on every M camera. Leica didn't just create a camera with the M3, they created a language, a design philosophy that would define the brand forever. Make cameras for photographers who care, photographers who value feel over features, photographers who want a tool that gets out of the way. The M3 proved that simplicity, executed flawlessly, beats complexity every time. Walk into any camera collector's vault and you'll find M3's treated like holy relics. Early serial numbers, double-stroke models, mint condition black paint versions. Some sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Not because they're rare, but because they're perfect. Collectors love the M3 because it still works, because 70-year-old shutters still fire accurately, because the mechanical precision Leica built into every unit defies time itself. But there's something deeper happening too. In an age where cameras are replaced every 2 years, where firmware updates render old models obsolete, the M3 stands as a rebellion. It says, we can build things that last. We can create tools that survive their creators. We can engineer permanence in a disposable world. You buy an M3, you service it every decade, and it's yours forever. Your kids can use it. Their kids can use it. That's not just a camera. That's a legacy. Something beautiful is happening right now. Young photographers who grew up with digital are discovering film. And when they ask what camera to start with, veterans point them to the M3. Not because it's easy, but because it teaches. Shooting an M3 forces you to slow down, to think before you press the shutter, to understand exposure, focus, and composition without a safety net. There's no LCD screen to check, just 24 or 36 chances to get it right, and that constraint creates better photographers. The M3 doesn't coddle you, it holds you accountable, and in return it rewards you with images that feel earned. The M3 isn't just surviving, it's thriving, and it's building a new legacy with a new generation. What does the M3 mean in 2025? In a world obsessed with AI and computational photography, the M3 stands as a quiet reminder. Technology doesn't have to overwhelm us. Sometimes the simplest tools create the deepest art. The M3 didn't win because it had the most features. It won because it understood what photographers actually need. Speed without distraction, precision without complexity, reliability that outlasts trends, and a soul that makes you want to shoot, even when nothing needs to be photographed. 70 years later, the M3 still teaches us. It teaches us that craftsmanship matters, that permanence is possible, that the best tools disappear and let the artist shine. Some revolutions don't announce themselves with noise and spectacle. Some revolutions whisper, and the world leans in to listen. Is the Leica M3 the greatest camera ever made? Or does another classic hold that title in your heart? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me your M3 stories. Tell me if you've ever dreamed of owning one. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Alt Buzz Archives. We're building a community that believes cameras aren't just gear. They're history, they're art, they're stories waiting to be rediscovered. Every week, we dive deep into the legends, the forgotten classics, the machines that shaped our visual world. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's keep these legends alive together.